you're here in Berlin today to present a new car-sharing service. Can you tell us what's that all about?
Yes, we're here in Berlin to announce a new Volkswagen ecosystem of services, and within this ecosystem of services, one specific service which we actually will be launching here in Berlin in the second quarter 2019. We share. It's a zero-emission vehicle on demand service, so you can actually order the car and actually move the car yourself. It's a self-driven service for zero-emission cars. Basically starting second quarter next year with a fleet of 1,500 e-Golfs to start with. But then as of 2020, we will transform this fleet into a new ID family. So you get latest technology, great range, fantastic ride, zero emissions on a tap.
Okay, but I mean, Volkswagen is a little bit late to car sharing. So what makes your car sharing offer different than the other car sharing, or vehicle sharing offers that are already available?
The essential difference is that our sharing service is connected to a whole range of other services. So if you are a user of this car sharing services we share, you can tap into all services in the ecosystem of We. We Park is this parking services which makes the parking experience seamless, intelligent, simple to buy, simple to find, simple to pay. You can actually create or make your car a post-delivery box. You can open your car actually to the postman to actually put cars in the trunk. So really it is a whole range of services that actually you open actually with getting access to this ecosystem. And that's the key fundamental difference. Volkswagen knows how to really do platforms extremely well around the world, and we are now creating a global customer platform that gives you all services at one tap with your customer ID. And that's the fundamental difference from Volkswagen to any other car manufacturer.
Okay, so the start of this We Share service is just an entry point. So how does this fit into Volkswagen's broader strategy going forward, and when do we start to see it?
You see it merging into our product strategy. As of 2020, we start our life with a new fully electric car family, the ID vehicle family. So this service will be a major user of this new basically zero emission fleet of cars. But on the other hand, you see actually this transformation happening not on the vehicle side. Volkswagen is using the intelligence of the platform to scale around the major areas around the world: China, North America, Europe, and South America, to create this platform of customers with all of the services attached. But our mission is to become zero emission, actually, as much as we can, and this service will help us to get there.
Okay, and so there's a lot of technology behind putting these systems together. So what is it that Volkswagen has in house, and what does it need to acquire in order to get that expertise?
Yes, I think basically if you look into the conceptual space, there's a bit amount of technology which we are investing in. That is something we do understand very well, but we do need strong partnerings in the future to connect the car stably into the cloud and from the cloud back into the car to make sure that data and systems can really flow safely and actually be done well. So you should expect a series of announcements in the months to come around partnerings around technology. And on the other hand, we have the operating system actually on the customer side in the ecosystem, where we actually do build services ourselves. We share as a service we do ourselves, but there will be services where we actually use already existing well-operating services for our customers. So this is partnering on both sides, partnering on the technology side to make sure the car gets connected and the customer gets connected safely actually to the ecosystem and the cloud. And on the services side, actually we'll do some services ourselves and some actually we will acquire.
Mm-hmm. So you'll have plans to make some acquisition announcements by the end of the year?
Yes, you should expect some announcements to be had in the months to come, clearly before Christmas.
I mean, can you give us a sense of what kind of skills, what kind of expertise that Volkswagen's looking at right now?
Well, clearly Herbert Diess has announced this actually in some of his interviews a few days ago. We are transforming Volkswagen from a vehicle hardware-centric company into a hardware and software company. So obviously most of the partnerings and the acquisitions will be actually done in the area of actually software development, software skills, and actually service operational skills. This is the area where we actually will seek partners in the future, and that's actually what you should expect to hear from us.
And so, I mean, but this idea of sort of technology connected autos isn't new. So what brings, What is this? What is the difference that Volkswagen brings? You know, for over-the-air updates, things like that. What is it that that's different about Volkswagen in this effort?
I think it's easiest to comprehend if you look into the history of the past, let's say, 10 years. Basically, Volkswagen has implemented global vehicle platforms. MQB, actually MEB is our electric vehicle platform for the future. We are masters in actually scaling technology around the world safely at great quality levels, actually in any area of this world. Basically, what we are now doing is an operating system, actually, which connects vehicle platforms to customer platforms in the future. And this layer of technology, which we call Volkswagen OS operating system, actually is the new layer that we will put together ourselves, but actually with partners around the world. And that will provide stability for our customers, safety for our customers, and actually a new level of access that actually combines old platforms with new platforms to the new customer.
Okay. I mean, I'll switch a little bit because that's all like for the future. But there's a lot going on, you know, today, and there's a lot going on in the here and now. One of the challenges that Volkswagen has talked about it's facing is the switch to WLTP. How is that change in the test regime? How is that affecting you right now? Like, what's the status?
Well, I think we have announced that we do have some issues on the timing, actually, of WLTP. Actually, in this case, I think we're in the middle of this transformation now after our shutdown period. So we will basically have a bridging period of about 6 to 8 weeks, August and September, where actually we'll see some delays actually in our sort of customer ordering potential in our markets. I think that's well managed. We have I think a great line of information and know-how actually in our dealers now, in our importers. So we do believe that we can actually bridge this actually quite well until year end. But clearly there's especially an operating problem that we see coming in the month of specifically September and say early part of October.
Okay, so say by the fourth quarter, should be through the system effectively?
This is clearly our ambition to actually pick up as much as possible. Basically, our whole team actually is working jointly, technical development, production, logistics with our dealers, actually to make sure that our customers don't see unnecessary delays actually in their car ordering. Can't promise 100%, but obviously we are aiming at 100% recovery.
Okay. And what about, there's been some issues with China in the last couple of months. Like there was a slowdown last month. There's been some delays in purchasing on the side of Chinese customers. What do you see right now in the market?
Basically, it's an unchanged situation. We have a stable, very strong market, and we are talking about an extremely high level of market demand. But obviously, the talks on a global level between the U.S. and China, the tensions building there, actually has some influence on customer, I would say, lust to buy immediately. So we have a stable market. I think we're looking forward with confidence into the Chinese market. But it will take some time till the market really picks up to where it should be to our latest expectation. It's a matter of time now.
Mm-hmm. And you just mentioned trade issues. Yeah, that's affecting China demand. Is it affecting your network and business elsewhere? Are you seeing some signs of tension, like from the customer side or from the dealer side, or affecting your import-export activities? How is that playing out right now?
Well, globally, for the moment, actually, we do have stable growth. We have year-to-date, actually, August achieved growth around 7%, actually, basically in all regions. So I would say the year-to-date, actually, our business is strong for the Volkswagen brand. Obviously, in selected countries, you do have some impact. Clearly, in Turkey, for example, which is sort of a near European country and economy, actually this has a huge impact on the economy, and currently we have basically a pretty big slowdown of car demand, but actually not only in the car sector, in any sort of trade sector in Turkey. And I think you probably have followed sort of the Argentine sort of movement in the past week. So there's I would say isolated spots. So it's not a connected whole. I would say sort of problem in the moment. But we do see some spots where actually the current discussions on trade actually have led to some impact on the car market.
Well, maybe one final question in the U.S. How's that doing for you? It looks like the SUV initiative has been working. And like, at what point do you expect to bring We Share over to the U.S.?
Yes, we are actually quite happy with our progress we make in the U.S. market. Our SUV, basically momentum built around Atlas and Tiguan, is really picking up. The cars are actually well positioned in the marketplace. They're finding great customers. And for the first time in many, many years, just to give you some data for Atlas, we have 75% new customers conquest actually going into Atlas. That really shows that fine product, well positioned to the U.S. taste, well positioned on price, is really attractive for new customers. So obviously we are rebuilding our brand in the U.S. We see actually good and stable progress in the years to come. And obviously, especially the ecosystem will come to the U.S. It will be called as we do call it here in Europe. And we are now actually investigating where to start with WeShare. It's not finally determined yet, but obviously this idea and this platform has global scale and global reach, so it will reach U.S. as well.